We're talking about getting rid of clutter, both for your own physical health and peace of mind, but also for the peace of mind of your children, so you don't leave a burden of big messes behind. We're going to continue our conversation with Nikki Swenson. Thanks for staying with us, Nikki.
Yeah.
So we talked about briefly those 5 categories. Could we kind of walk through some of those? Maybe let's just start with toss. What kind of things do you put into the toss pile?
You know, I think toss is maybe the easier category, because if things are broken, if things are worn out, clothing for example, things like that are easy to throw away. There are some items that you definitely want to make sure you recycle. You don't, you know, plastics, some metals can be recycled, cardboard, papers, say for example, gift cards, things like that you don't really think that can be recycled. They're simply paper. They can go into recycle bin. So whenever you are tossing, you want to be conscientious about what can be recycled so that you're having as little impact on the environment as possible, for sure.
That is a great point. So don't just take everything to the dump necessarily.
Right. Correct.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, how about those folks that maybe have some things that they could sell and make a little money off of? Advice for how to go about selling things? Garage sale or?
Garage sale is an option. Garage sales are hard because a lot of times, depending on when you're doing your clean out, you might have to store the items till the weather is nice enough, especially in Montana, to have your garage sale. The other thing about garage sale is they are a lot of work, and you're not probably going to ever get a lot of money for small items at garage sales, so you have to be okay with that. There are options to sell things, Craigslist, eBay, places like that. If it's something that's large enough, valuable enough, you can even, you know, use, like in Montana, like say the mini nickel, like things like that. Facebook even has online marketplaces that are really user-friendly, that it's a great place to sell things, and if you're intimidated by that, I guarantee you there's someone in your family that can help you out with that, for sure.
Okay, great. And you said one too might be gift. Any tips for those belongings that you might want to give to family, friends?
Right. You know, gifting can be great. I have some possessions that were given to me by my grandparents, and they're some of my treasures that I would never get rid of. Gifting can be done in a lot of ways. It can be done with a will. If you want to do it and have it taken care of after the fact, that's one way to handle it. Another great way to handle it is to simply give it while you can, you know, pass on the stories that are with it and give it to your family that way. Another way is if family members have things that they want, you know, maybe put that in writing or put labels on the items, you know, prior to needing to dispose of it.
Okay, so kind of letting them come in and claim those things that mean something to them. Okay, perfect. And then one of the other ones too is keep. So if you keep those items, you don't want them to just go back to cluttering your home again. So how do you organize those things that you decided to keep?
You know, it's really important, again, to ask those same questions. Is it useful, and does it mean something to me? And if it does, then you want to make sure you have the space for it and to give it its rightful place. If it doesn't have its rightful place that you can return it to after you're done using it, then the clutter has a tendency to happen again. So that keeping portion is really, it's really a key to the maintaining the decluttering. You don't want to keep too much, but at the same time, if it means something to you, you don't necessarily want to dispose of it either.
Okay, and so what do you do with those things? I know you mentioned you take some of the stuff out of the room, but you don't put it in the room that it goes to. At what point do you go about that process?
You know, when you're on an individual room sort, you can basically take those things to that next room. And you might not start on that room that day necessarily, but you're going to take all of the things out of there that do not belong in the room you're working on, and then basically you're going to turn around and put things in their place in the room you were just cleaning. And don't let anything back in that space until you have the items that were in their rightful places in that room, because once the space is filled up, you really don't want to pack more stuff in there. And if there is more stuff that belongs in there, then maybe you have some more decisions to make.
Okay, and then I think the only one we haven't talked about yet is donate. What are the options there for some of the things that you can donate?
You know, there's lots of options for donating, depending on your community. You know, there's Salvation Army, there's Goodwill. I know, like, shelters, will take things like blankets, pillows, towels, those types of things. But there's always a way to donate something that can either serve someone who needs it more than you and can keep them from going into the landfill.
Okay, perfect. Something that a lot of folks have that I am curious to know what your thought is are those storage units. Sometimes they just throw things in there and they keep them, they're just throwing money at them. Any advice on how to tackle those storage units people have paid for?
Right. Storage units are extremely overwhelming, and a lot of people will get into a situation where they maybe have to clean out a home or something, and really a storage unit is their only resort as to where to put that stuff until they have time to deal with it. I would never recommend tackling a storage unit alone. And you need to understand that it is going to be an overwhelming process. I would definitely have means in place to be able to dispose of some things or to be able to haul them off right then and there, like maybe show up with a pickup, that type of thing, because you don't really want to ever put it back in if it's come back out. You want it to either be given to someone, donated somewhere. If it's something you can use at home that you have space for, you can take it home. And the other great thing about storage units is a lot of them will have like an annual like storage unit, like garage sale type thing, where you can go and open your door, set up your stuff and sell it right from the storage unit, which is a great option too.
Okay, perfect. We are so close to being out of time, but just a final thought that you would give to folks when it comes to decluttering.
You know, I think the biggest thing is, if you feel like your stuff is weighing on you, it is very true. If you are overwhelmed by your stuff, that's a true feeling, and it really does a great thing for your health to be able to live in a clean, decluttered environment.
Perfect. Nikki, thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
advice, great information. That's all the time we have for today, so I'd like to thank both of our guests for coming and sharing their expertise, and thank you for joining us this week. We hope you'll come back again next week. Until then, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. Have a great week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.